queria muito deixar uma boa impressão neles, que eles se divertam jogando, algo que é uma
EDG on the defensive side here on Icebox, and Loud already making their way up towards nobody. It looks like there could be a fight on his hands, but nobody. Ooh, he spotted them down below. The info's there for EDG, and the opening pick is too, but a trade back as Loud look to quicken the pace towards this site. Nobody's tucked into the corner, has an opportunity to catch him on the way, but again, just fades back. Nice shot by QCK. The advantage now for Loud, but the players have fully rotated in. And EDG will attempt this retake moments from now when this wall falls, or when they step right on through it. The spams the game for now, and a wide swing from QCK opens up all the space. Loud have got their pistol in the bag.
Yeah, a solid start from them, and kind of what you expect to see on this attack side. I think EDG are going to be waiting to get onto theirs. That was where they had the real success. Of course, this is one of those matchups where I almost feel like teams were playing a bit of chicken when it came down to the veto. Obviously, the initial ban coming through from EDG of Ascent was very surprising, considering Loud have looked shaky, their identity looking a little bit lost, but a map that they smashed them on at Champs, and maybe just having some flashbacks. Then you've also had the removal of Split, and both teams sort of floating Lotus, their permaban, until we end up on the maps we're on. I feel like we've ended, I want to say somewhat in the favor of Loud. I feel like their map pool just that little bit deeper. But when EDG go into their opponent's map, throughout this tournament thus far, they have been very, very good.
Well, this round doesn't have a lot to speak for, but the flank up by Chichu, the sneaky play on mid. He had been spotted earlier, obviously, as we saw Sadek take a bit of an engagement with him. So Loud aren't allowing any free space to be taken by that defensive side. The problem here is if they do feel boxed in by Chichu and any potential B pushes, they'd be running into an A stack. We can see EDG have fully stacked up that site. As you can see, Loud are not looking to commit blindly. They've spread back out and found some space.
Yeah, I actually think that that's really important that they go back and get that fight, because it does put the doubt in the minds of their opponents a little bit. EDG were able to stack up on A because they had the information that they had control for anybody rotating back. Even still, though, with 40 seconds left, it does look like they're going to be pushing into the EDG stack, which is probably one of the only ways they could really take any damage in this round.
You know, this is perfect. You've taken down Chichu. At this point, you assume there's someone towards B. They'll hear the Viper wall go up. You don't have control of mid, so the rotates will go towards that side. But there was nobody there from EDG. Everybody still patiently waiting on A, and now's their chance to get some value. One kill is all they'll get. A big stop by Loud. Even though they run into the stack, they find all the value. The second round, cleanly in their pocket.
Yeah, nice work from them. Just taking their time. Obviously, on the other side of things, EDG didn't really have anything, so I don't think they're going to feel too hard done by the fact that they don't really get too many kills. Now they're looking to invest back in with the rifles on every single player. Now, I do think it's going to be fairly important for EDG to get off to a good start in this series, because we've already seen that a couple of times in their match versus Gen G. They did very well in the early, and then they seem to teeter out a little bit, slow down, and Loud are a team that will punish you if they're able to get off the mark. And this is one of the players we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on. As it was said on the desk, he may not directly be coming in as an Aspas replacement, but when you're coming up against a player like Kankan, you need that star power. Already, though, Smoggy off to a flying start. Cowanzine is dropped, Sova gone. And it's definitely going to make things a little bit more difficult now that you don't have your initiator.
Yeah, one of the things they've been struggling with is QCK getting into sites, and without having a Sova to reveal them up, it's going to be a bit tougher. Now no flank protection either as Sadek falls. This is how these rounds typically go when you slow down the pace. You're not going to win most of the fights you're taking, and in this case, none of them so far. The final attempt will be to group up to make some value out of this lower buy round for Loud. They want to drop a couple of weapons out of EDG's hands, but just look how patient and passive this defensive side is being. They're willing to give up the site control and play the retakes together.
Yeah, they've already got them pretty much boxed in once again. The same push has come through from Chichu. Nice work from QCK, though. That'll be Kankan down, making this one at least a little bit more competitive, trying to get a bit more aggressive as he's going to go through the utility that has been placed down. That flank is the major danger, but with how far forward they've actually gone, I don't know if there's anybody that can actually be picked off. He needs to go huge from this position, and while it's only going to be the one kill, there comes Chichu in from behind, and Les is left to try and clutch this 1 versus 3. There probably isn't anybody else you'd want. Even he can't win out that one.
Not the end of the world at all. I mean, they get the 2 kills. It's sort of bare minimum done housekeeping in a round like this. They didn't overinvest. You know, you said there were some rebuys, but again, fairly minimal considering the lack of losses. it's all right for Loud. This is the formality of early Valorant out of the way. It's sort of weird to not see that third round won. Most of the games we've been covering, Thomas, it's been pure chaos by now, but, well, Paper X game later on. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, to be fair, we have been doing China versus Pacific in every game so far, so I think it's understandable why some of these games have gone the other way. Even still, though, this is where things get interesting. QCK has been doing well in the early rounds as well. This means he's already going to have himself Bladestorm and an extra 4,000 credits in the bank, so he's pretty well stacked to go for this early push. Howdong's going to be the one under pressure and almost has to fall back completely. Doesn't have any support, so his main goal is just going to be to delay as much as possible. And for the other side of things, they're just taking their time.
Yeah, rightfully so. Bit of map control, pushing the EDG side out of position, grabbing orbs, and looking for picks. As you said, QCK's had a good time on the way through, a difference from some of the series we've seen, and now he's got the Bladestorm to try and pick these players off. But after seeing that control, grabbing their orb, and not finding any advantages being given away, they're rotating back.
Yeah, I think they had no plan to ever go in this direction. The spike was dropped outside deep on B. There was no one going to retrieve it. This was all an attempted ruse, and when I say attempted, it has worked wonderfully. There's currently only one player left on the site, but EDG have made the realization. Pushing players up mid, got nobody deep in control. They've also got Chichu rotating in, but they are about to be under some serious pressure.
It's the right call again. Same thing we've seen from EDG, just a passive play on A, very confident in their retake game. No big ultis online to help them, and a few shots through the wall that actually hurt Kankan. He's down to half HP, a little below. Not gonna be ideal for the fight back through. The plant seems to be secured, the cove broken and a snake bite down, but that's not gonna deter them. Now it's time to fight back in, and they've already lost their entry man. Kankan down. Kalanzine still in position. The Bladestorm looking to find value. Players up top as well. I mean, Loud are not playing a retake on this. They're not trying to deny the defuse. They're trying to deny any boots on the ground. But they've lost a few fights. 2Es is very low. They've got to be extremely careful here. And with less down, even more so. Sadek dropped, and it's only the 30 HP 2Es left to try and close this round out. Already being stuck to halfway. 2Es needs to time this just right. And the shot is perfect.
Definitely got a little bit dicey in the end. I think that pre-fire shot from Smoggy basically made it interesting. Because up until that point, I was like, yeah, 3v2 post-plant, you've still got less alive. I'm like, okay, I'm not really too worried for them. And then he hits that shot, and it gets very interesting. The thing is, though, I feel like so far Loud have been fantastic with their orb management. They make sure at the beginning of the round that the reason they push B is to get 2Es that orb even, and then he moves back in the other direction, plants as well, so then he's able to actually use the Reckoning. So that's what kept them back for so long. That's what allowed Loud to garner so much space. And okay, it gets a little bit dicey in the end, but the fact is they got the round under their belt.
I really like the way we just saw that round play out. As we said, right off rip, Loud had a game plan, and it didn't look like EDG threw any spanners into the works, try as they might. We saw the re-aggression when Loud had gone up on B of Howdong. He got behind yellow and actually had really good spacing in making it there if Loud had have been committing. He's been quite good at that, at reading the ebb and flow of the round. Here, he's made the right call. Stand behind that wall because Loud are coming in to get the plant on B. Oh, he might have an opportunity here. Oh, the opportunity's coming.
Yeah, he was hoping that he could make the player vulnerable and then right-click them as they moved away. I don't mind the idea, ultimately only having a classic, but now it's looking like a formality. Not much invested, and more what was invested was actually at least a Guardian onto Kankan. He's immediately dead. Already, though, we're actually going to see that Hunter's Fury thrown in. I guess they really believe they could take this round away from them. Chichu's managed to find another one. Maybe they might be right, but Sadak still just holding down the fort. Smoggy's found one more. Eventually, though, it does look like Loud are going to stabilize, and that's a pretty big ult to commit off rip.
Right? I mean, it's not even like they were already positioned to have a chance. They just went whole hog on it.
It was a 1-for-1 trade and a post-plant.
And they had pistols on the way back through, and post-plant. Yeah, it's just a bit strange. Timeout from EDG. And, okay, looking at where their ults are, it's not like they're going to have a huge problem in the ult economy. They've got a couple big ones coming online soon. One thing that's drawing my eye, though, is the fact that Sadek has a lockdown now, and they're not going to have too much to deal with it. They're going to have to rely on other well-placed utility.
Yeah, at least a lot of ults other than that are coming online. That could be the reasoning from EDG, is make this one a bit more costly, have a chance to win the round, and then we've got 1 ult online and 3 very close. So it could just be an argument of, okay, we don't actually just want to have them all at the same time and then just spam 1 round. But yeah, definitely an audacious attempt. Again, though, Loud already 4-1 in the lead. As I said, I feel like expectations are there for both teams to have their strengths over on that attacking side. I think that's where we've seen, especially EDG, really when they did manage to beat out Gen.G, they were really good on their attack. And it's where ConCon really came alive. That's my major worry, though, is so far in this tournament, going by ACS, going by ADR, going by the most stats that involve kills, ConCon's at the top. Right now, he has 1. Which is not a great sign if EDG are going to be winning this, because there have been serious vulnerabilities. Even games that they've lost, he's still been in the 20+ kills bracket. So I'm a little bit worried for them at this point in time that if he doesn't come online, which I'll be honest, I think he will, but if he doesn't, this is going to be a blitz of a game.
I mean, we saw a good attack side from EDG on this map up against Gen.G, but we're going to need to see them build those foundations here on the defense. So far, it's been pretty lights out from Loud. And the movement towards B, quick. They're making a lot of noise on the way through, but again, it has the same vibe as before. Just look at the dots on the minimap falling back. They've dragged a huge rotation from EDG. There's now 3 players on the B side, 1 close by around mid, and only 1 man standing alone is nobody on the A side, up on pipes. And if he doesn't move quickly, he won't have a way to fall back. He's gonna have to commit to this angle in the next couple seconds unless we see him retreat, and well, he's now stuck. He's gonna have to hold his ground and take this battle with the lockdown in play. I wonder what the idea here is. Maybe a flash from afar to allow him to swing around the corner. Maybe he'll just go for it. Just the one to be found, that's it.
There's a pocket of space. ConCon has managed to survive at the back, but now there's a rotation in the other direction once more. Still a player lurking around this position. Howdong waiting patiently, but he has to be careful that he's not caught out.
30 seconds
there are a lot
left.
of players pushing from a lot of different angles. He might just, no, he's missed the timing just by a millimeter. That's enough, and actually, Chichu's now gone down. Again, this round is starting to get really dangerous. There are so many angles he has to be careful of, and Les is going to win that first. Howdong caught in no man's land, and for 4v3, it might be down to just 1. Tui's waiting patiently. Loud have managed to recover from a position that looked really dangerous to making this round look comfortable.
I think they've just had a really, really strong mid-round decision. We had 2 rounds ago where Loud seemed to be in control the whole way through. They had their game plan and it worked perfectly. EDG didn't put them on the back foot. It looked like the same thing here, even with the disruption of nobody finding a kill. Right now, Smoggy grabs 1, but it's too late to get back in to deal with 2. Maybe he can do some more damage, and that may be, well, it's turning to a reality. That's a free kill for him. But even still, the reality is Loud have just gotten away with highway robbery, stealing this out from EDG. It was a close one that EDG might even have had the upper hand in, but they got chopped up into individual fights all across the map just by not having a read on what the hell Loud were trying to do.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, because I think for Howdong I can kind of forgive. Like, he ended up surrounded because of where the battles went elsewhere, but every other player ends up alone. Like, not a single one of those fights was tradable, and Loud just play off that. Just position themselves fantastically well, and yeah, the mid-round calls were great, because that initial take for them, even using a lockdown, it didn't go very well. EDG did well, but it's just the way that they play in the mid-round that was sublime. Now 5-1 up over on that attack.
มาแล้ว
Microphone
มาแล้ว
looking a little bit ropey at this stage. ConCon's
ส
gonna
วัสดี
try
ครับ
and
ทุก
pad
ค
the
น
gap.
เมื่อกี้
He's
ขอบคุณ
had a
ลิงก์ด้วยนะครับ
quiet
สำหรับ
match
10
so far,
กล่อง
got a
ด้วยนะครับ
second
ขอบ
kill
คุ
in
ณ
the
นะค
last
รับ
round,
แล้ว
but
ก็
didn't really matter too much.
ขอบคุณ
Now his
โดมิ
Blaze
จังนะครับ
Storm
สำหรับ19 เดือนนะครับขอบคุณมากครับ
definitely has potential.
สวัสดีทุกคนนะครับมาแล้ว
Here.
อุ้ย
The potential's not realized this time around, is it?
Placing swamp
And I
grenade.
think the other problem being that, okay, Chichu might be able to get them back in the next round for retakes. I doubt he's going to be using lockdown here. And there's a Hunter's Fury online for Kalanzine. He's not going to be deploying that anytime soon, I
แท็
reckon.
กที่จะเท
So
ค
there's like the safety nets that appear to be forming underneath EDG aren't really there.
ทำไม
Damage
มัน
being done. It actually is
จริง
keeping
นะ
Cloud's
VCT
economy pretty low, despite a 5-1 lead. If they lose a couple more players here, it will end up being costly enough that EDG might be able to reasonably force an eco out of this squad with 1 or 2 wins, depending on how investments go.
player standing.
The reality is there hasn't been a lot of hope in these rounds, and this one's not really the one to give us any extra. If Les goes down, it could be an advantage, or if he gets the kill, just one away from a Viper's pit, and he's sticking around. This looks like it'll be his fight, and not one he'll win, but that does still get the pit online. Costs you a rifle,
ไม่ไหว
doesn't
ไม่ไหว
get Chicho an orb. He already had the lockdown.
เปิดจะไว
No,
นี่แมป EDG ด้วย
It ends up actually being fine. Like Loud may not be keeping these as clean as they'd like, but
คือคู่ว่ามาสุดที่ได้เคยดูมาใช่ มันเรื่องนอกสนามเลยไงเพิ่งรู้ตอนหลังมันเลยมัน
เรื่องนอกสนามเลยพี่
Someone's tripping out.
เมื่อวานแมป2อ่ะ ตอนจบอ่ะโค้ดของอีลีกเป็นไปทำท่าแบบผู้ใส่ไมค์ปิกอ่ะ
ตอนเดินเข้าใช่ไหม
ตกแบบ3ซัมติงชนะซัมติงก็เลยชูนิ้วกลางใส่
And they need to start getting onto the ball because sure,
ข้าว
there's
4 เดือนนะค
expectations
รับ
that their attack side
โดนบัฟก็
is going to be better, but they need to actually have
ที่
a
2 คู่
decent sort
ของ
of
ศูนย์
foundation to actually build upon. Because let's not pretend like Loud are just
เรา
going to allow
2-0
them
เลย
back
เหรอ
into
ป๊า
the
ป๊า
game. Like
เรา2-0 เลยทรงใน EDG ไม่ตื่น
Like,
เมื่อกี้
you'd bet your
2-1 อันนี้
house on at least
2-0 เลย
one round less.
ดูจากฟอร์มแล้วหิวหมาล่า
He has been one of the best players, I would say, in the tournament, but of the last year, 2 years, like you could keep going back, he has been up there. So I think at this stage there needs to be a decent change. And
บอก
EDG
ว่า
in the
เขาวางทุก
past,
ทีม
Chichu,
แล้วลมค้าง
there
ไว้
was
ทุก
that
คนต่อ
interview where he said they really do rely on their coaching staff. They learn a lot, they take a lot. Well, let's hope the second pause is where they get that.
We saw a lot of conversation about Coach Alex's pause yesterday and the impact that it had for Paper X.
อารมณ์เกม
Going on to win like 11 out of 13 of the next rounds. Maybe that can be the case for EDG here. They don't even need it to be that strong of a statement. Just this attack side to at least have some legs. Remember, even the best teams in the world will refer to those pistols as coin flips, and you don't want to be going into that with one round in your bank. Big problem for them. It's not like EDG have no ultimates, but Loud can one-up them. They've got the exact same plus a reckoning. That could help to root out the Viper's pit. And of course, the
เดี๋ยวดิเพิ่งเริ่มครับ
lockdown on Chichu, as we said, not really going to be that threatening when Kalanzin's still up.
Yeah, he's probably just holding the Hunter's Fury for that exact reason, so... Already? No, no,
Ui.
never mind. He
เอา
wants
เล
the
ยว่ะ
kill.
โอ้โห
He's got it for blood and he's
สแกน
gonna
เจ
get
อ
it
แล้ว
as
เอ้า
well. Might even get a tag on
แน่นอน
Smoggy,
จัด
not far away.
เฮ้ย
Nobody's been having a
ซีน
bleak time over on this A side. Smoggy does well, but he has to give it up.
แปดเบรก
The reckoning is going to force him back completely, and I imagine we're going to
โอ้
see
แล้ววางตรงนี้
it's
ด้วย
an up
ไอแผ่น
top
ข้างบน
มัน
นี่
เป็น
มัน
ระบบ
โกง
กัน
นะ
เร็ว
They're just
พี่
going to play this one passive. You want to go for a lockdown? Sure.
Man,
We're going to be
GTA
sitting
code,
so
yeah.
far back that it's not even going to matter. And I'm also starting to have a
แล้วเพื่อนไม่
look
วาง
at that rotation
แล้ว
coming
วาง
through
ส
from
โมคให้
Les.
แล้ว
He's
วาง
looking
มี
ข
ตั
อ
ว
ง
ปิ
ให้
ดงานอีก
at them.
ผิวจัด
He's going to be caught. That's the only downside.
Tom,
But
not
maybe
jack.
they'll think he's around middle, not up here. No,
Oh.
they're checking it. He's
Late.
won the fight with 2 snake bites in a post plant.
อ้าว
You
ยัง
imagine
กำหมัด
he'd
จะเล
be
สไม่
setting
พักว่ะ
up for
พี่
that right now, but instead they're committing more resources with 2E's moving through mid. This is a counter to what
โคตรยาก
EDG just put
เฮ้ย
through. The lockdown used, but their back
เป็น
is
ไม่
now
ได้
wide
ยาก
open as they push
เขา
forward.
ซึ่งใหญ่เลยโคต
Les
ร
is doing
ยาก
exactly the same. Snake bite up top just to secure no diffuse, but there's no one near the
Yeah.
diffuse, no one near the spike. In fact, as 2E's is about to realize, swinging into heavy traffic, and you know,
ไม่ทัน
it's not nice to have 4 kills
ทำ
in
ไม
a
เขาเดินเหมือน
round
รุ่นเลยอ่ะ
and have to go and
พี่ตุ้ย
save,
อ่ะ
but that's the reality for EDG. 7 now on the board for
หรือ
Loud.
ว่าตัดสินใจ
This
ที่
was
จะ
going to come up as
popping
a Red
swing
Bull clutch, but there was nothing even particularly clutch about that. That round was over about 20 seconds ago. Like, Loud came in, again, every single round we're witnessing, they have a game plan. They know what their opponents have. Okay, they've got a lockdown. Let's put ourselves in a post plant that doesn't allow that to work.
Smokey อย่าง
Let's
เอา
have Les come round on the flank and basically just put
เพียง
this
แค่
round
คำ
to
ว่าโคต
bed
รยากของ
with the
ป๊า
amount of
สโม
doubts
กี้
that
ก็
their
บอกจัด
opponents are
ให้
going to have. Like, right now, this is looking like a masterclass.
ดีเด็ด
from
round
Zack and Loud, and
เป็น
EDG
ราว
haven't
2-0 แล้วกัน
yet turned up to the party.
ไปเลข 2-1
I think that's spot on, Tom. It's been a
เปลี่ยน
really
ใจ
rough one to watch if you're an EDG fan.
น่าจะหลับ
For
ไม่ตื่นแล้ว
Loud,
ทรงนี้
well, we talk a lot about the curse of Masters for this team, and it looks like it might be on its way to being broken. 7-1, a strong scoreline and a strong start as they once again, on the side of Loud, push EDG out of control over Belong.
Do they actually go beat this round, or are they just going to take
No.
the orb and go
No,
back?
it's got to be an
See,
orb.
they
I can
haven't
feel
left
it.
a lurk. I think they're going
It could
B.
be the Viper's pit also, you know?
There's no one lurking. It's a B take.
You actually are spot on with that one. Previously, they've always had that extra player behind. This time, it's commitment. But EDG are committing. They haven't played like this up behind yellow. It hasn't been spotted, but reveal now gives away the game.
โอ้โหเหลือเชื่อ
That's a disaster for Loud. Or for EDG, pardon. It's a miracle for Loud.
Yeah,
free as can be.
QCK took some damage, and honestly, that's
it's
a disaster.
Over. It's EDG are going to win the round.
ข้างๆนี่ตื่น
Oh man,
พี่ไอเจอไม่รัวๆแล้ว
anything to fall in place for them. Even there, it was a cloud burst that wouldn't fall in the right spot.
Oh, there we go. The 3 players at this stage might actually just go for this. But again, Loud's post plants have been sublime. It hasn't even been particularly close. That knife was nice. It's basically caught everybody. They know where they are, but there's nothing they can do. And Kawazine, he is not looking to be kind. Already spotting out Chichu, an awkward fight. And he is still surviving. Timmy the turret trying to help out at least a little bit. Looking for position. Take the fight, and he's going to get rid of Smoggy as well. Just removing the weapons that they're trying to save. Finally, they'll deal with him. But again, the round is over. It's been over for another 25 seconds. They're just looking to fight to hold their guns. That's the game at the moment for EDG.
เฮ้ยฝาก
They
เชีย
are
ร์ KC
fighting a different battle every single round.
ผมว่าเปเปอร์เล็ก
We
มา
saw
วันนี้
the previous one. It
ถ้า
was
ฟอร์ซักเคน
amazing.
ยังแบบ
Pushed
เมื่อ
up
วานอยู่
forward to try and deal
เวอ
with
ร์
the post plant. Ended up being flanked themselves. Round was over. This time, it's all the whole squad is here to deal with this
ฟอร์มอย่าง
one
เวอร์เลย
Silva lurking in two.
The funny thing is, I feel like there, Kankan tries to fall back, get pinged by the dart. I don't know if that's intentional, but it seemed like it could have been because he then gives away. Okay, maybe there isn't someone else there.
ยากจัดวันนี้
QCK just runs
ผม
around
หา
the
คำตอบ
corner.
เจอแล้วเว้ยแชทว่าเมื่อวานเกิดอะไรขึ้นที่บอกผม
Made no
บ่นว่า
difference
จอ
what
ดำ
the plan was.
มันเป็นเพราะว่า
He
เช็ค
just
จอ
just
ผมว่ามัน
domes both.
เอ้า
And QCK has been having a much better performance. The setup's been there. Let's not beat around the bush.
เฮ้ย
Well,
Oi.
Chichu's at least going to get one and no trade.
สวัสดี
Actually,
ครับ
the
สวัสดี
high
คน
tide
มา
kind
ใหม่
of
เนี่ย
helping them out here. Another one for Howdong, but Sadak has found 2 in
อุ้ย
response.
โดนว่ะ
เห็นแว๊บ
Tui's hasn't had the best round with his util there, chopping up the map.
Good
to
timing.
Stop them from being able
สาว
to
โชว์
keep control of mid, but EDG
มัน
took
มีอารามบอด
control
อยู่
by the reins. Chichu
โอเค
on the flank. Good
ติด
position.
หิวไว้หน่อย
Sadak is still up, and he's on his way back, so that util is going to be online. Has to be broken. Now they know. Now they're ready for the fight, and a little closer than expected. It's Kawanzine looking to take Chichu down.
Oi!
Yet again. And on this angle, he's not losing it. Clean shot to the head. Viper's Pit
Kawanzine
went
ว่ะ
up and online, and that is stopping any chance of them defusing. Surely they've got to. Oh, that's actually a nice recon up top. It hasn't caught him, but it's given away that he's there. Maybe the spams can find value. Kankan's got to wait a moment as nobody steps forward. He's
เฮ้ย
dodging the spam, but Kawanzine steps in on an unexpected play.
Oh,
Even the pit
lit.
dropped in the end for Les to find that kill. Tom, this
One
is
trap
looking
there.
like a mismatch on Icebox.
Yeah.
EDG's map pick,
EDG
and
ยับ
they've
เลยว่ะ
yet to
พี่
get off one round.
แต่จะเกม
And
ไว
this is a masterclass.
No
It's
picture.
Genuinely a masterclass from Loud. It seems like their decision
ว่านาเล็ก
making
บอกว่า
has been
เฮ้ยมันล็อกกู
pretty much
ต้อง
all
จัด
the
การ
way
มัน
through the
ให้
game.
ถูก
Again,
ถูก
this
แล้วไง
started
นะ
off with a decent individual
หลังจาก
play
นั้น
coming out
ก็เอา
from Chichu, but then Sadak pops up, they get into the afterplant, and the second that spike has gone down, my belief in EDG winning the round has gone down to about 5%. Because it just
ทำไมตั้งแต่มัน
hasn't
โดน
even
2
been
เกมเมื่อวาน
remotely
ไปมัน
close.
แบบเสียทรงเลยวะ
9-1.
ไม่เหมือนวันแรกเลย
We've seen this
เออ
happen once when they played Breeze versus Gen G. EDG
อาหารไม่อร่อยหรือเปล่า
didn't
สเป
show
น
up to the party in this map, and it's
ไม่ถูก
not
ปาก
looking good. Kankan has
อยากกลับบ้านละ
been diffed. That's not something I think has been said in his entire career.
Oh, he's been hot this tournament as well. One of the big reasons I was coming in
ไม่
here
ตื่นนะผม
believing
ทรง
in
นี้
EDG, but I can't even point to one player not showing up. One piece of the puzzle, the whole puzzle is missing. All I've got is the front
สองทีม
cover.
นี้มันโดน
Think
จีน
about
ลงเลย
what
ด้วย
could have been.
อาคังแบบเมคเพย์คนเดียวแบบว่ายิงสู้
Eventually find
ยิง
those missing
สู้ไม่ได้
pieces. EDG are searching frantically. It's a Hunter's Fury pulled out of the bag. Not finding its
Okay.
mark just yet. Some damage, but Sadak and Les quickly trade that back. Very few defenders left standing. In fact, now just one. Smoggy's on all fours.
เฮ้ยเฮ้ย
โอ้ย Oh my god
It's Sadak
ตาเด็ก
โอ้โหเห่าโดนเชิงแล้วแบบ
demolish
นี้
this
ลูกโป่ง
squad.
มาเห่า
I mean, he's been doing it so far with his calling. This time he takes it into his own hands. 10-1.
I didn't enjoy that.
โอ้โหช็อต
this is
นี้
hard to watch.
ยังไงดีป๊าป๊า
Yeah,
ถ้าเป็น
they
โค้
used
ช
the Hunter's Fury.
Good,
They,
leh.
they used, actually, to tell a lie, they used the no command
Yeah.
and the Hunter's Fury, and they didn't even get a kill in the round. I think we've just got to start thinking about map 2. This is
โอ้โห
not even
ลั่นเลย
remotely
แท้แท้
close to what we were expecting coming
โด
into
นลู
today.
ก
And
คมเว
we've
ที
already seen in the past the back and forth between Kankan and Sadak, the sniper and the sniper's mocker. And while 2-11. Normally, I'm not one to highlight the kill feed. It's not particularly
Eliminate
relevant in
61
most
นะครั
games,
บ
but when Kankan goes, as said, the number one when it comes to ACS, ADR, kills per round. He has been up there in every single stat this tournament. Right now,
ไม่รู้เฮาอยู่นี่
How Dong doesn't even have any shields here. That's how.
โตหลุด
Catch a break.
อ้าว
Not
โอ้
even
อีก
connecting
แล้ว
their
เสีย
shots
ทร
at
ง
this point. No one could even hit a bullet. I think they're mentally boomed. I don't even know if they're gonna kill this
โอ้
round.
ยับเกินว่ะพี่
ไม่ไล่เลย
ไม่ไหวฟู
Can we
EDG
just call it there
ฟอร์ม
and
ไม่
go
ได้
back
หมด
to?
นะ
I think
EDG บอก
I
กลับ
think
บ้า
I
นไป
might
กิน
have
หม่า
just
ล่า
got
ดีกว่า
EDG's
ไม่ไหว
coach
แล้ว
comms there. Was that you or them? I wouldn't blame him. That's a tough one. But you rarely see
ไม่
a
เป็นไรไปแมปสองนะครั
masterclass
บ
like this. And you got to say,
วั
those
นเจอ
first
เปเปอร์
5 or
เล็กนี่พี่
6
เกม
rounds,
เดือด
it
เลย
was all static. This guy pushing and pulling the map perfectly for his squad, with his squad. EDG didn't know what to do. In fact, we caught up with static earlier on. So let's hear a little bit from him.
Meu nome é Matias, também conhecido como Sage Hack,
Ui.
sou o capitão da Loud. Em preparação para esse jogo, eu acho que foi muito mais a gente ter confiança que podíamos virar essa situação na que a gente está.
Mentality
O segundo
break, né?
mapa foi,
Não tem nada
foi
bom.
difícil, mas eu estava com muita confiança, sabíamos que a gente podia. Eu sabia que podíamos trazer isso de volta, então pedi para que eles confiassem em mim que ia dar tudo
ส
certo.
องคู่
เพื่อคัมแบ็กไว้
จะไม่ตื่นอ่ะ
เฮ้ยผมพลาด
A
เท่าไหร่
1-1 trade, the number so favourable towards Loud. Guaranteed closing in, it's all on
อัน
Autumn.
ตุ้มช็อต
This
นี้
guy
แบบ
has
ว่า
been a rock
ไม่
star
รู้
for
ทำไง
this
เลยอัน
side,
ตุ้ม
but a brutal position, a brutal round to potentially go home on. Has he got the heroics in him? He's got so many targets, so many threats. He can't do it.
A gente já se enfrentou no passado contra a EDG, sabemos que é um time muito bom. A EDG em particular é um time que sabe muito bem trocar o ritmo das jogadas. Às vezes ele joga muito devagar, às vezes ele joga muito mais rápido. E isso faz que seja um pouco difícil de ter uma boa leitura contra eles, né? Às vezes a gente ele faz lurker, realmente é difícil. Joga muito bem com o Pedrito no ataque, então uma variedade estratégica muito boa. Para os fãs, amamos vocês, muito obrigado pelo apoio, vocês são incríveis, espero que vocês assistam nós, continuem apoiando nós. Se fica muito cedo para vocês, peço perdão, é o que temos para hoje. E é isso, um beijo gigante e muito apoio para nós.
Well, Tom, Khan said in the video earlier on that he wanted to strike fear in the hearts of his
Capitan.
opponents when they saw his name. Well, they're going to have to look way down the scoreboard to see his name on this map. That is a rare thing. And on the attack side, Tom,
Kick him while he's down.
there's
I'm a hand
basically
again.
no hope. There's essentially no hope. An 11-1 comeback, Mini couldn't even make this happen.
Tough. Give him a ring. See what he says.
Phone a friend?
Yes.
Or 50-50?
Let's see how good Mini's Chinese is.
I reckon he's a man of many talents.
To be honest, I
Posters probably taught him.
wouldn't even be surprised.
แต่มันก็เคย
Here
มี
we
การ
go.
คัมแบ็กเกิดขึ้น
11 to 1.
11-1
It has not been a good start.
ยากอยู่
Still,
โอ้โห
potential of a
ป๊า
turnaround
มา
in the
แล้ว
next
สอง
map,
คน
and at least maybe some life in this pistol round.
อู้ทำ
They're
นี่
going to be able to get off to a strong start. Less
หืม
defined.
ขังไม่ได้
So
เล่นจริง
clean
ว่ะ
with it.
เลสแม่งคม
ทำมิ่งกัน
They've got to be careful
Oh,
not to
Lin,
let
man.
this one slip away. Already
Oh.
looking like it could happen. Chichu eventually will be able to find one. Kawazin, he's very close. And I almost feel
เมื่
like
อกี้เลสได้อีกหนึ่งนี่
they have got themselves in
ได้
a
ลุ้น
massively advantageous position.
ได้หมด
An
ละ
open plant that normally you could only dream of. Multiple positions. Actually, I think the
อุ้ย
cross maybe
Ma-
missed here. The headshot
ดู
wasn't
แรง
even
จัดเวลา
needed,
ยิง
but
หัว
he has managed to find that first kill.
ทามมิ่ง
There's no chance, though. With the time so low,
Pero
look how
hold on,
far
hold on.
back they're playing. Still with a reveal. You'd have
Big
to
Ben.
force one of the
Oi.
fights. Smoggy's already tucked in. At this stage, miracle work. Even 45 HP as well.
Yeah.
Nobody cleans it up. And there it is, Tom. They've doubled their rounds. It's a consolation prize for the time
รอ
being.
เด
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I want to actually see if they can just
จ
even
บคู่นี้ไวๆครับอยากดู
build
เป๊ป
into
แล้ว
it on an individual level.
Well,
Like I don't.
Khan needs a warm-up.
Yeah, exactly.
เอาหรอ
This is
ไม่อะคัง
basically his
เพิ่งเห็นนะคัง
aim labs before his aim labs.
ยิง
So
ไป
that's
สอง
what I
ตัว
want to see. Just take
ครั้งไม่ได้เลย
get themselves
ตอน
into a good
ฝั่ง
position
รับ
because
พยายามแบบ
they've come in
มา
cold and they
เมคเพย์คนเดียวโดน
shut down by
ตัวกระทืบ
Loud, who have
Mong
looked
รัวๆเลย
fantastic throughout this map. So I
ได้
think
กลับบ้าน
even
นี่
just
ได้
a
กลับ
few
บ้าน
rounds, getting themselves feeling more comfortable back on that stage, it could be a pretty big deal for the side of EDG. And in this round, as you can see, there's no real safety net. They're just going straight in with those rifles. Chichu won't be the one to invest, a full gamble. But already with the drone giving away where this push is going to be coming in, the full force of Loud will be coming in on the rotation. A few upgraded pistols, but for Sadak, the only goal, slow them down and see if they can do a bit of damage.
What a round it would be to take off them, but yeah, you're right. The goal here is just to drop rifles, run that cost. Avoid giving Concon that little boost of energy.
อุ้ย
Playing
โย
with
ก
the
ดิ
Outlaw, waiting for this wall to fall. They'll have some targets. Loud, very patient, but EDG are starting to make a read on this. It is a lot back towards A, leading the charge by himself. It's a little concerning. If there was still a lurker around A, nobody would have I mean, he's 68 HP as well. He'd have a serious fight in his hands, but it looks like he might get away with it scot-free. Although, actually, the timing is kind of poor here as he goes through the wall. Kawanzin's waiting. Now the spike's down. Rifle there, but it can't be retrieved.
แล้วบอมตก
ไม่
ไง
ดาว
Lurking around mid to catch those rotates, but he's going to be
อุ้ย
spotted in a second. In
Oh,
fact,
let's just
spotted
show.
now. Now he's
Oh.
still this player swinging
Oh,
in
he's
all
out.
directions.
Oh,แล้วไง
All of a sudden, they're in a 5v3. 12 seconds left as the spike is planted.
ปืนแรก
ไปได้เป็นไม่
ข้อ
ได้
มูลเป็นอะไรไม่รู้ว่ะเดี๋ยวผมอาจจะต้อง
is
เร็ว
now
ๆนี้
on
อาจ
their
จะต้อง
side, and the players pushing back in.
ผมไม่ได้รี
haven't
คอม
got
มา
big weapons. Even the kill they got
เดือน
on
ละ
mid
เดี๋ยว
was just a sheriff, so nothing big retrieved. Kawanzin already fallen. Okay, EDG are starting to get their hands on the reins again. It's
Ow.
back under control. It's not looking too scary, although a couple players
back
are
with
low. The time is ticking. Oh,
Like a fake comeback.
One. Con, this is his chance.
Căng.
His aim labs, right? He just needs to hit a few shots.
Căng.
Sadik again.
อาคังกดหมดแม็กเลย
Oh, 12 rounds for Loud, and
อาคังในกล้อง
EDG
คือ
probably
พิงแบบ
wishing
พิ
they
งบ
could
อ
have
ไปแล้ว
just jumped to the next map. This is more
Yeah, Căngแบบ
demoralizing.
อาคังไม่ได้วอร์มหรือเปล่าเนี่ย
เออ
That was a Mastercard thrifty.
Was it, Tom? Did they not buy? No, they didn't force buy that?
คังไม่ตื่นเลยอ่ะ
It was two
คังคนที่
ghosts
เจอเป็นพระเด็กไปไหนวะ
classics and
Yeah,
I think they
wasn't
even, I think they picked up the sheriff.
แผนปืนแรก
Even the sheriff that he got 2 more kills with was picked up. He didn't even buy the sheriff.
Oh.
Mitch.
เวอร์มาก
แซงมันโคตรคม
It's okay, because they're going to map 2, man. They're really good on their opponent's map picks, Tom. Yeah, there we go. Well, fair play.
He's
fair,
got an
fair
Odin.
play.
โอ้โห
He's got Odin. Hey.
อาคังตื่นแล้ว
อาคังไปสอง
Concon's managed to get to. Maybe, no, who are we even kidding?
No.
There's so much still that needs to be done. Still 3 players standing for either side. The early battles at least being even. I thought the Odin had a possibility. QCK, neither has spotted the other. Concon is just literally next to both of them. They've all walked past. If anybody turns around, they're just going to see him sat on a perch. There we go. Eventually goes down.
They don't know the second
Smoggy
player.
again has traded though. It's the players with the weapons.
สอง
Still, that push up from Tuiz,
ก็รู้อยู่ยังรู้อยู่กลับไม่ได้
no longer online.
เราได้เปรียบตอนนี้
คุยแล้ว
หลังกำลังมาอีก
แล้วเดินไวจัดเลยพี่ตุ้ย
Rounds coming. You can see less. It's just waiting,
ตุ้ยโซคิ
watching,
ทัมมิ่ง
buying
timing
extra
di
time,
chat.
even putting the wall up just to slow them down that little bit further. This is all an attempt to try and just give opportunities to his teammates. At this
โห
stage,
แล้ว
you
มา
should
ไว
know
มาก
โดนพี่ตุ้ยดิอย่างเงี้ย
where
ตุ้ย
these
สลิง
players
เข้า
are
มา
coming from. The snake bite again, just to make them that little bit
Why
weaker as
mad?
Tuiz continues.
โดนพี่ตุ้ยคู่เลยเนี่ย
Sneaky
เดี๋ยว
little
ทรง
play
ละ
around the back. His opponent's
Lim Loi,
none the
Nolan Ning,
wiser that he's going to be
Nolan
right up behind them.
โอ้
First kill free.
โอ้
Close it.
แล้วพี่ตุ้ยเป็นอย่างคลีนเลย
It
ยิง
has been a
ยังจะ
to
ยิง
forget
หัว
for the side of EDG as Loud come in with
แล้ว
one
ถอด
of
หูฟังรอเลย
the most dominant performance we've seen in the tournament so far. They are one step away from making it to the top
ทำไมไว
four.
จังวะ
Nothing but smiles from Sadik up on that stage, and I'd be surprised if I
เร็
saw
วมาก
anything
เกมแรก
else. We know EDG are good on their opponent's map
See that
picks.
sign?
No.
Okay, we're going to toss it. I don't want to talk about that. We'll let the desk maybe bring it down after the break.
ต้องไปรีเซ็ตครับว่าต้องไปรีเซ็ตจริงๆอ่ะ
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle, you're going to be able to fight this.
EDG มันหมดแต่ไม่คิดว่าจะหมดขนาดนี้นะ
เฮ้ยเพลงนี้ไม่ได้ดิติดลิขสิทธิ์เกือบแล้วเอ็กจะไหวเคซีไหมไหวดิครับ จบแล้วเหรอแบบแรกจบแล้ว ให้ EDG ไปรีเซ็ตก่อนเดี๋ยวมาหนึ่ง
ต้องดูฟอร์มตอนนี้ฟอร์มไปเลยกันนะน่าลุ้นอยู่ตื่นแล้วเหมือนจะปลดล็อกรู้ว่าใครต้องตำแหน่งไหน
มาแล้วพี่เอ้ยคู่เป๊ปพี่เลยให้ใครครับ
ไปเล็ก2-1ครับตื่นละไปเล็กมันตื่นละ
เปเล็ก2-0ครับพี่เอฟ
คามายไม่ค่อยโหดเท่าไหร่มาทัวร์นี้น่าจะโดน
คามายไม่
ครับ
ไม่เข้าเฮเลติกวัน
จริง
ดูไม่ค่อยเข้าตาเท่าไหร่คามายทัวร์นี้
เมื่อวานนึกว่าเป๊ปจะไปแล้วด้วย
พี่ใหญ่กลับมาแล้วพี่เล็ก
มันน่าจะโดนปลุกนอกเกมอ่ะไอเดรีมันหลัง
คือมันเล่นของสูงไงแบบว่าไปล้ออเล็กทุบโต๊ะนี่ไงอเล็กกดพอสเลยอเล็กบอกยอมไม่ได้ มันล้อกูแต่มีนาเรศเลยนะพี่เคซีอ่ะ
A4 นะเล่กับมาตีน แต่มันดูไม่เคยโหดอ่ะมารายการเนี้ย
มันน่าจะซ้อมเพื่อยุโรปเยอะ แล้วแบบเจอการเล่นแบบตีเจอสไตล์เล่นเร็วพังเลย มาแล้ว
This is not the team we've come to know from EDG. Loud absolutely picked them apart.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like the logic that EDG applied to pick in this map, by the way, their pick was, okay, we beat Genji on this map, Genji beat Loud, so therefore we should be able to beat Loud, but it looked like a rock, paper, scissors. It looked like a rock, paper, scissors kind of situation.
Transitive property, I said process of elimination.
Yeah.
No, I was wrong, you were right.
Neither of us actually passed 4th grade mathematics.
But yes, like you can see the logic there, but I can't. There's no logic in that game.
It's not about the map pool. I think they could have showed up to any map and looked like that. It is about confidence. This is a team. You look at their faces. No one is yelling. No one is making noise. No one is giving that energy that EDG thrives on. Think of when this team is at their best. Kung is up, standing, screaming. He's shooting an operator at the camera. They're showmen when they're great. And right now they look completely deflated. But we do have to give Loud credit because they did still play a really good game. In particular, that attacking side, I thought that Sidak was calling an absolutely stunning match.
Yeah, exactly. And we picked up a couple of good examples because Mimi, you're completely right. It's all about that mid-round calling. We know that both of the teams are very, very hard shooters. So it's only on fundamentals and actually the reads on the map that you can win in this matchup. We were seeing that EDG was getting a lot of the kills in some of these rounds, but they are unable to close them up because of the adaptation and the moving around the map that Loud was having round after round. You know, maybe they won 2 rounds, but let's think about the 2 rounds that they won. The 3rd round, right after, Loud is on a bonus, and then Pistol on the 2nd half. This could have perfectly been, this could have perfectly been a 13-0.
Yeah, it absolutely could have. It was just inches away from that happening. But you see in the rounds the variety of the calling for Loud, even when they're losing. They're going for a lot of fakes. They're going for these interesting ideas with the B split. And I think we have seen that historically when they play this Harbor composition, they really have a lot more kind of adaptability than with the comps when teams are playing without the Harbor. Without the Hammer or without the double controller in general, most teams are, it's just an A hit simulator. You go there always, sometimes you throw in a B hit, you have to fight deep. But yeah, it's so different for this squad, the variety they have.
Well, let's go to the AIM Lab shoot around real fast. We'll check in with Chichu and we'll continue the conversation regarding EDG. You know, something that I thought I would never see as I'm looking through the stats, because obviously we're looking at Chichu here, but Kung, 4 frags total. Like the whole map, which is like heartbreaking because
shut down completely.
And you would see him on screen here and there. It didn't feel like his aim was aligned there. Like it wasn't like, it was like big battles. No, it honestly just felt like he was just getting diffed.
Yeah, exactly. Not many things were working on the side of EDG for their first map again. And I repeat, this is the map that they chose. Now we should be moving on something that theoretically Loud is going to be more comfortable in.
Yeah, and honestly, the wildest thing to me about that match, besides the crumble as a whole, was that QCK was diffing Kung. He's the guy we were saying needed to step up, needed to be great on the jet. We hadn't seen him at his peak yet. And he was out there, he was being set up beautifully, and he was dominating Kung in the opening kills. But you're right, Bea. We've hit a reset point, we've gone into sunset, but man, am I worried about EDG. It's so hard to reset. Not just, sometimes you lose a match, you can wipe it away, but this is now 2 maps in a row where it's been the same story.
Yeah, probably they ran out of fuel maybe too soon in the tournament. We were talking about, is Loud top-notch right now? Are they going to be, are they really up there to be the winners of the tournament? EDG right now is not looking like a fair opponent to them because Loud, after what they did yesterday on Sunset, how good they were feeling, how everything was falling onto place, a 13-5 against FPX, where FPX were having crazy rounds. I think that Live and Ultim were final bosses. For this one, things are getting even harder for EDG.
Yeah, very much out of hand here. Here comes the agent select. And, we're getting ready here for some sunset. You're going to see QCK. He's going to be rocking that Phoenix. He's going to get right in the face of his opponents as much as he can.
Yeah, the biggest goals of Loud's comp on the defense is extremity control. With that breach, with their multitude of flashes, they're really good at holding down space in the mains, in fighting forward against EDG. They don't have that same initiator power to fight back in. So for EDG, I think this attack side is about getting mid control, baiting out util, going for these late round hits if they want to win. But that's all out the window. This is a map about confidence. EDG need to remember who they are. They're the team who's been dominating in China, who comes to international events and beats the best of them. It's absolutely unacceptable for them to go out with a win. This team needs to remember why they're great.
And watch out because Loud might have
ผมไม่ได้เข้าอารมณ์
we
เลย
know that EDG likes to play it
จะ
slow,
ฮูดเหรอ
likes to play it with time. But Loud with this composition and with that first map that they
พูดหรือเปล่า
gave
ไม่รู้
us,
แต่
they
สีขาว
want to
อัน
take
ตัว
it
ใหญ่ห
all
นึ่ง
and
แป๊
make
บ
it into playoffs.
Is this how it ends for EDG? Will Loud push forward into the playoffs? Let's find out. Send it right back over to Mitch and Tom.
เนี่ย
Thank you so
สี
much,
ขาวอะ
Golden Boy, and our wonderful analyst desk. Tom, as we move into this next one, you know, I pity our analysts for having to look at that last one and break it down because it's tough to be nice to EDG after that. It was a really,
ไปเล่นแข่งกี่โมงเที่ยงคืนครับ
The promise, a good on
แน่
that
นอน
opponent's map.
แบบนี้ไว
You opened up the series by saying that. I hope to God you're right.
Well, that's the thing. We now have to do what EDG did. Forget that ever happened. And move straight on. And Loud, they run quite an explosive comp. Kicking it off on this defensive side, you can expect aggression, you can expect pressure. And basically, EDG have to forget
แก๊งฟินิกซ์
that has been a rough performance. Boombot gone. Shock dart counted. Now going to be looking for the split straight through into mid. And still though, there are plenty of players from Loud around these angles. QCK already, as said, was looking good on the last map, looking to try and take control. And it's less than Howdong with the first couple, but Loud have come out on top.
Still a bit of a struggle to get in towards B main, and spike drop. Everybody split up.
อาคางตื่น
Con left.
มาแล้วว่ะ
He's fired off to find Kawanzin. The
ไปแล้ว
first
ว่ะ
อาคางหลับ
double peek
หลั
quickly
บต่อ
secures the round for
เกือบจะ
Loud.
กลับจะหลับกันต่อ
Another pistol
อาจจะ
underneath
ไม่ได้ตื่นอาจ
Loud's
จะแค่ละเมอมา
control.
เฉย
All three.
ฮะ
ละเมอมาเข้าห้องน้
for them. For EDG, and it's going to be a
นอนต่อ
minute
ดีก
before
ว่า
they
เพ
can
ราะมัน
heat
มีอะไร
back
มัน
up.
ไล่
They're
ไหล
down to pistols.
Yeah, I think it would have been nice for them just to get off to a good start on this map. Try and, as said, forget what happened. But the fact is, it's always difficult when Loud play the way they do. I feel like there's going to have to be real dedication to just being wary of where QCK is going to be, because he could be everywhere. Like, the fact is, he is going to pressure all over the map. He's going to have supportive utility from Kawanzin at times. He's also going to be looking to farm up those ult orbs, because it really does help with the aggression. So I feel like EDG are going to have to play their defaults well, and in the last round particularly, losing B main like that and having no way in, that was definitely a problem.
Immediate spams through the smoke. Well, Howdong's definitely got the shorter end of that stick. Les has been tagged up a little bit, and 2 eases down. Okay, EDG, they've got a little bit of punch packed in this one. For the defensive side, they've lost full mid control. So it's time to go walkabouts. A side is under threat from behind, so they're going to secure the front. QCK's already made it past, but the timing is key, and he's picked his angle, picked the right angle indeed, although the shots don't land, the flash in hand, and it almost cost him his life. But the timing was good. Howdong down. The heal can be found by QCK. He's out of there, actually. He's just
น่าจะไปฮิวตัวเอง
entirely.
Yeah, not wanting to try and stick around versus the pistol.
โดน
ปั๊มเมนฟินิก
Because
ใช่
the
ปะ
B site
ก่อน
is
เป็นฟินิกซ์
under the control of their opponents.
ไปเขาให้ฮิว
They don't really have the
ฮิวเพื่อนได้
ด้วย
cipher that we've seen from many
เพื่อนตาย
others, from Chichu on the other side, that gives them that extra bit of information. We've seen a lot of teams really utilize
เฮ้ย
the cipher on this map.
มันเช็คละ
Lesto
เอียดจัด
รอบ
executing
ขอบรอบขอบ
Kankan. He was one of the major dangers. Look at the rest of the weaponry that's available for EDG, and it definitely isn't pretty. Even an extra kill or two, though, in this post plant could be huge.
Well, this is it, especially with the plant spot, right? Like, this is all about spamming. The downside is two classics, not really going to have the best at times. Nobody know where to go.
อุ้ย
An angle eventually and a kill with Chichu on
Oh,
another.
that-
Now there's a real chance for
Ui,
damage.
kìa,
Shock dart
đã
close,
sổng
and the spray doesn't
Chichu.
land. Kawanzin's now the last man standing. He might not even be able to win this anymore. If he does, it's going to be
Top
a
เลย
heavy cost, and he's
เอา
out.
ว่ะน้ำหนึ่งไว
That was a point I had absolutely no belief in the fact that EDG would be able to take that home. Already getting themselves a MasterCard.
อันนี้อาคางตื่นมาหาอะไรกิน
Boost to the confidence. Some great individual
You robbed
ability
it.
there, but also just the goal to just sit in a snake bite and then peek after the two pulses. That's one of the few moments you're going to see an aftershock, like the changes that they made to it from 3 pulses to 2, actually making a major difference, because otherwise he is dead.
Just about made it out with his life. Hit the shots. And even with the shock darts finding them, a player swinging who's got a fully auto rifle when you're so low, just didn't matter. EDG have got their early start. This is what we wanted to see. I thought we weren't seeing it with the pistol. a smile on my face, as Loud now have the weaker weapons, and EDG will face off against them with confidence. Concon straight around that angle, and Les, one of the major dangers, is already being dropped. Both rifles that Loud have are now on the floor.
This is a confident-looking Concon. Was already looking dangerously missing in the last map, and he did have a rough performance the last time they played Sunset as well versus Paybrek, so I was a little bit worried, but the fact is this round decimating less. 2Es now. Again, it's about getting a kill, getting anything, make things more costly. They know exactly where he is. Now, not shooting it might bait the idea that he's around the corner, but is making sure he's not giving anything away.
มาแล้วว่ะ
Bounce back off pistols and then
อาจจะ
go
ตื่น
for
มา
flawless
หา
round.
อะไรกินแล้วก็น่าจะดูทีวีต่อป่ะป้าพี่เอฟอันนี้
Well, they've lost the pistol. They're 2-1 up, and they've
เดี๋ยว
got
ดู
a
จะอยู่ยาวหรือเปล่า
Concon
ดูว่า
player
มีรายการน่าสนใจ
as
หรือเป
you
ล่า
said, just completely
แอบ
missing
ลาวเลย
on
ด้วย
the previous map. A player that is really the reason that people are believing in this squad being able to pull it across the line, because he's been so
มาแล้ว
strong
มา
this
แล้ว
tournament. And I was terrified. If he
กลัว
didn't show
ฝรั่
up
งเข้า
here,
คอมากเลย
the
ตอน
game
ไป
was
ลอง
already over. But very early on, we found
ผม
out
จะกระเด็น
he's
มา
here
ติด
to
จอ
play.
ว่าตอนนี้
And round number 4 is going to see a full buy for both squads. Run it back online.
Okay, he's insta-pop
ฮะ
show
เฟลหรือเปล่าน่ะบีคอน
This just has to be a moment for Loud where they just give up the site. Almost played
ลง
straight into the retake.
รอรีเทคเลย
He's garnered quite a bit of space, but because
จะ
he's
ได้
got
เข้า
the
มาวางหรือเปล่า
direction
ก่
of
อน
elbow, they actually haven't managed to get into an after-plant position off of the back of this. And maybe almost trying to sell the idea
โห
that this was
ตอนนี้ลาวเล่นยากจัด
I
อะ
like this from EDG. They're now breaking the door, and I feel like this is putting in some real hesitation in the side of Loud. Like they're clearing things out. They've seen absolutely nothing on A after your opponent bursts a showstopper into the elbow. This is a really, this must
มี
be a
การคิดมากเล็ก
peculiar
น้อย
round for them. And now just patiently waiting, timing going to be everything. I think Sadak caught a glimpse though.
แซนแท็กมาดู
He
อ่ะ
saw one. He might have seen two.
ต้องหาไม่งั้นเพื่อนเล่นยาก
Some damage done. EDG on the
เอ้า
way through, though. They will make the A play with
พลาดหรือ
QCK
เปล่า
securing mid and now looking to move forward. This is where I expect the run it back, and indeed, it's already popped. He's on his way through. Peak is good for some damage. QCK focused on the site, gets dropped
โอ้โลจัด
eventually,
เล่น
but
ห
he's
นึ่ง
back in the fight now. Alongside Kawanzin, who's just burned the ball as
Wait.
utility, and that
Hey,
flash
heal,
didn't
hey,
manage
heal.
to root anyone out of
Oh, oh, oh.
position, but the
No,
Molly
yeah.
certainly has. They're all low and, well, sat around the same position, just nobody who's up on full. He's the first to swing, post on the wide angle, and find quite a bit of control for himself. The plant still to be secured.
อุ้ย
อุ้ย
Seconds
โนบอ
they
ดี้
need
รู้
to find a
Ah,
safe haven
God.
to get that done, and it's the corner up close. Nobody
Nope.
has to hold strong, and with him
เพื่อนวาง
down,
อยู่
the round
Wang
is
Han.
already done. You'd imagine. Come on, there we go.
Yeah,
เหลือหนึ่งครับซาร์ฮอก
there was a moment
ยังอยู่
that maybe there was some belief, but yeah, a very odd round. Like I don't mind the ideas from EDG.
แต่เหมือน
like the
อาคัง
start-
จะเปิด
if
ที
that
วี
was
ดู
the
นั่นแหละ
game
เอ๊ะ
because
ไม่มีอะไร
they
ค่อย
take
น่า
so
ส
much
นใจเท่าไหร่
control with the showstopper.
ตัดสินใจที่
Okay,
จะไปนอน
that's
ต่อ
fine. Then they pause, which I definitely think puts some doubt
แต่ต้องมาดู
in
ก่
the
อนว่า
minds of their
มี
opponents.
ช่องอื่นมีหรือเปล่า
But then they don't really take that space, and they take so long to get into an after-plant position and lose the battles in mid. That was one of the major
ไม่ได้อันนี้อาคังน่าจะขอพับไปแล้ว
you already saw Loud having such a large advantage that, okay, I think nobody ends up
หรื
doing
อว่า
quite
คัง
well
เขา
to
แพ้
at least
ทาง
make that one look
QCK
competitive,
ว่าเพ
but
ราะว่าชื่อคล้ายร้านหม่าล่า
ultimately the round doesn't go their way. Now,
อยากกิน
luckily, as we
CQK
mentioned,
ไหม
อืม
plenty of
เห็นแล้วแบบ
cash
อุ๊ยมันเกิด
There's
อยาก
no
กินแล้ว
struggles,
ไม่
no
หวัง
struggles
นะ
whatsoever. But the side of EDG, even Hunter's Fury online to work with, something to fall back on. Close to getting a null command as well.
Revealing area.
2Es, well, he might have his by the end of the round. We'll see if that has any impact.
Oh.
Round 5 starts off with a spray, and Concon getting put in his
เมื่อ
place
กี้ยิง
by
ตรงกลางมั่ว
Kawanzin.
ป่ะเปล่าป่ะ
As we
ใช่
saw,
ส
that
แปม
was just
สแปม
blind
ตรง
fire
ซอก
straight through the smoke, but
ใช่
an angle that's going to be
โอ้
very
โห
frequently
กูเครียด
spammed.
again, now Loud are able to fall back into these more passive positions. 2E's about to be put under pressure, but the fact is he'll probably just fall back off of this, call for some rotations. And you can see Loud are starting to group up together to potentially make a play back into mid. Now this is being watched by Smoggy, and because of that they are just going to have to fall back. Chichu potentially wanting to try and find some sort of trade, but in the meantime they have again completely given up this A site. But as we've already witnessed, Loud are very happy to go for the retake.
โอ้โห
Might be one player shy.
เช็ครอบนี้
Chichu
เช็คเฉยเลย เป็นไปได้
was checked before many times. by Loud on the way back through, but they decided to leave it open this time. That's going to delay the rotates to A and even allow EDG to get into position on the post plants. Although Chichu might not be there to help them out, I don't think he's expecting QCK to be quite that close. And we'll take him out of the retake for a while, buy some time for the squad of EDG to bunker down. They don't know where these players from the side of Loud are. I mean, again, QCK is on the other side of the universe.
The paranoia could be perfect.
They gambled it the right way, but there's no one to follow up on it. There's no one there. QCK is caught.
Oi.
Okay, in a good position, only the one to be found. They know where Smoggy is, so they're holding the angle. Clean as can be. Nobody, though, still holding strong. He sees
นักขนูนักขนู
or the bullets either.
อยากจะไปเก็บเรื่องตรงนั้นซะหน่อย
3 rounds for Loud.
Yeah, they've been good in these retakes. I thought for a moment that paranoia looked like it could catch all 3 players as they went for the retake, but wasn't quite placed out. Well, it was placed well, but there wasn't anybody to actually capitalize off it. And then in the end, it just came down to some slightly shaky fights. The Hunter's Fury as well, close to being devastating, but close is not going to win you these rounds. Still, though, EDG are going to be able to bounce back once again. They still have the finances available to them to invest in this round. Now, the A site, they've been able to get into the post plants.
ยังไม่มาครับ
A lot of their problems right now is the fact that they are trying to play the map so much.
ไม่น่ารอดเลย
They've
EDG ต
been
อนนี้
given quite a lot of opportunities on A, but they always have a deficit by the time they get there.
You know, when you think about how those retakes were established for Loud, 30 seconds before Spike goes down, you have players being dropped, you have QCK miles out of position, even caught on the rotate as well. Despite that, they're still able to get a good stranglehold over the site. You can see why they're confident on the retake game. Now, EDG, this time focus on B, but there's a flank watch from Chichu. He's caught 2 players pushing up, but I don't know that he has a way out this time. Stun was good, and they're closing the distance with a Phoenix Flash soon around the corner, and Chichu's in so much trouble. But in the meantime, the spike's being planted, so Loud again have to go for the retake, but as we've said, they're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they've done really well to isolate the flank every single time. Chichu hasn't managed to really get anything. And now it's up to the heroes on the other side to try and hold this one down. QCK off to a flyer. Khan waits for the corner, looks away, still manages to snap back.
โรบอดี้คือการเปลี่ยนแปลงครับตอนนี้
Nobody already spotting the first. Just looking to try and wrap back around into that 1v1. The dart should reveal the player on the spike, knows exactly where Sadak is. I'm waiting for him to try and attack. It's going to come down to 1. And Sadak is a safe pair of hands
ประสบ
once
การณ์
again. Loud will
30 กว่าปีบน
come
Valo
into their favor. And for EDG, it's close, but no cigar.
Sadak's been leading by example in so many of these rounds. Big one for him to close out.
คู่2เป็นไปได้
Giving
2-1
them a pretty good lead. I expect EDG to take a much lighter buy. Going to be some serious deficits for them. On the way back in, we're seeing again and again. This squad, when they have disadvantages, they're able to fight their way through. With the advantages, it got close this time.
ยืนแล้วเว้ย
They're still winning those clutches, and that's all they need. And the weakness is actually not that apparent on the side of EDG. They're going for all light shields, which is allowing them 4 rifles to play with. So still some very good potential to this buy from the attackers.
My ultimate's ready.
You look at the ults, that's the major deficit that they have already, getting the run it back online. Hunter's Fury, again, they look perfectly set up if they end up in a retake. And that's what Loud have been playing for in these rounds. Good start though. Getting rid of Cowsy and also getting rid of a boatload of utility. And EDG are not going to just run off the back of that entry kill. You could see a fast rotation in from Sadak. And instead, they're looking
User
to
joined your channel.
นายมาไกลสุดแล้วเราไม่ใช่
I mean, we've seen this a couple of times.
มันหมดแล้วพี่
Now with a
นาย
little
มา
bit
ไกล
more
สุดแล้ว
information to play with.
สวัสดีครับพี่วูสวัสดีครับ
These positions are being held, and Loud
ครับพี่วู
previously pushed up on
เหมือนตั้งแต่วันก่อนที่มันโดนแบบ2แบบ3ไปก็
and it's
หลุด
red
ละ
on the other side. Chichu sees that. He wants to take the space for himself.
กูมีทางสอง
A
วันนี้
very
เป็นประเด็น
late
เจ
flank.
สันจะเป็นดูริสอง
35
อะดิ
seconds left on the clock.
ใช่
He's creeping up elbow. We see the B
แล้ว
side
มันจะเป็นส
under
โม
heavy
กกันดิ
threat. Last in the corner. He hasn't been pushed out of it, but now he's being spotted. This could
Oh.
spell danger.
Not
Nobody
really.
tracked. And he's down low. So is Howdong. Everybody, in fact, has seen their fair share of
เลนเลื่อนไม่ลดเลยเหรอ
Howdong, though, wants to take down last force forward.
บริการไง
Just waiting. A quick double for him.
ดูแลกันและกันเคียงข้าง
And it looks like it's all sealed. QCK even popped the ulti as well. He's running it back and taking down Smoggy. Little showmanship for 5-2.
Yeah, they look like they're right back in the driver's seat. A shaky start to this map. Allowed 4 rounds in a row once again. They have just looked superior so far throughout this map. And the funny thing is, in the entry, you watch both players at the back of site have all of their utility taken away. The second it comes back online, the snake bites are perfect. The counter utility, the smokes they're putting down, just making things so much more awkward. And then also you just have Tui's just pop in anyone's head that even looks at him for a second.
Well, I think that's also part of it. You have Les in the corner firing with his rifle, letting them know he's there. He throws the snake bite, player gets close, and as soon as the second one's fired, he's running at him to punish him. But not able to. Now when Tui's is there, quick shut down to this round with 3 fast kills. QCK right down on mid, and so is the whole force of Loud. You know, 4-player mid push with a Phoenix leading charge. It's not easy to deal with that. Chichu's the last man alive.
Guys have got B.
On the upside,
B is clear.
They've kept their credits for the next round, Tom. That's
นี่อีกหนึ่งเทคนิคนะฮะเนี่ยอย่างเมื่อวาน
Yeah, he had
เวลาฝั่งตรงข้ามจนเนี่ยไม่ค่อยเล่นนะฮะ
The worst thing is that I feel like they've already made the
ขาดไปทุกทาง
through behind them. Nice shots from Chichu. They need a whole lot more, but somehow Sadak, even when he doesn't have his gun in hand, still manages to just dodge the bullets. 6-2. It's a little bit more costly than maybe it should have been, but I don't think Loud are going to care. An operator in hand in EDG. I feel like we're right back on Icebox again. 5 rounds in a row, a pause taken, and the coaching staff once again given a chance to try and stem the bleeding.
ต้องอ่านทีละตัวเหรอครับ
At least there's already been a bit more promise to this attack side, though. When we saw this pause come in
เขา
early,
เกมดีว่ารออะไรเลยเขาเกม
Icebox, it definitely felt like it was
เอาไม่ไหว
a
แล้ว
bit frantic.
ดูดิ
And it proved
กูยังไม่แพ้เลยนะเว้ย
as
เพื่อน
the map went on.
เขายังไม่แพ้เลยต้องวานอ่ะเขายังไม่ได้เล่น
มึงโหดเก่งจังวะ
This time around, EDG can't afford to have that happen again.
นี่กู
But
ทำตัว
there's
มิกกี้ซะ
a
แล้ว
major difference, which is that Concon is online. I think now they've sharpened their weapon from the last map. They just need to find the crack in that armor to take these players down. There's not been too many weaknesses on display for Loud in this
อยากดูคู่
series.
สองแล้ว
They've only lost 4 rounds so far.
Yeah, their retakes on the A side have been sublime, so much so that they were pretty happy to actually give it up. And then their hold on the B side with less at the back of it have also been fantastic. Now, he's only there with 3 kills, but it's just the counter utility that comes out, Tui's the support that's there. And then obviously at times, QCK
ผลิตคนดูน้อยว่ะ
just
70,000 คน
taking that aggressive push. And as we've said, throughout this tournament,
พูด
he
เนี่ยเหรอ
has been one of those players that's under the microscope. He's replacing big shoes, whether that player didn't make it to this event or not. He's a talking point, and in the last 2 maps, honestly, he's been sublime. He has been a nuisance for EDG to deal with. Top of the board right now. Here we go. EDG with an investment, rifles onto the board. As said, A site has been a good place for them to get
แมปนี้แบบว่าพอเขาหยิบ KO มาแล้วรู้สึกซีโร่พอยต์มันแบบ
have been on point.
สตรอง
This is it.
ตองมัน
You know,
ดูแบบดูเคลียร์ดูได้พื้นที่ได้อินโฟเยอะอะแต่มันต้องเป็นซีโร่พอยต์สุดนะ
EDG yet an opportunity to claim this.
ต้องหาไลน์อัพเลยดิ
Right away. The timing is found. The space is
เนี่ย
taken.
จังหวะเท้าเสร็จเมื่อกี้เมาส์ค่อนข้างรวดเร็วทีเดียว
He's set up again for another angle with the op. It's going to be smoked off. But my goodness, Tom, this is not an ideal start for EDG. No. Nobody down. They're not going to have a lot of info on the way through.
But the thing is as well, Loud aren't just sitting there. They've already taken B main control, realizing there's no one there. So the rest of the team are able to rotate in early. They're able to claim so much space because the fact is the lurks from Chichu have failed every single time. So they're already there just pounding utility into these players. Chichu's desperately hoping to try and find something, but you expect it to be searched for, and it may not even be needed. The flash from QCK is also just perfect. How long low?
เราจะมองไปที่เปเปอร์เล็ก
Just watching. He knows that Chichu's eventually going to try and make his move. The fact is, Loud at this point are just reading the script. Paranoia into the back, the blinded player stuck. A Molotov that they step into. This is all just perfect. Loud can do no wrong, and how long? He has to wipe the entire squad.
แล้ว QCK วันนี้ยังมา
On the trade. They're running
มันมาแล้วไปลองเมาแล้ว
on EDG at the
อ่ะ
moment.
โคราชเวียนแล้วนะ
Just fantastic from Loud.
Run it back, and Viper's Pit online for next. 2 away from the Rolling Thunder on Cow and Zine with 7 rounds on the board. and near no promise for the side of EDG to get back into this series. The door is being shut on them, Tom. And I mean,
so
like every single piece of this replay is so good. You mentioned the push-up on B main. It gave them a little bit of information, but from there, the rotate comes in. Les leaves B main, moves to mid, waits for the lurk. I mean, if they had the coach's notes in front of them, they still couldn't predict it that well, mainly because I don't think they'd be able to read them.
You never know. They're a team of many talents at this stage. 2E's maybe in a little bit more trouble than we've seen before, as they look to put the pressure on much faster. I don't mind this approach from EDG. The fact is, a lot of the time they've been given this control by Loud. They're already going to spot the Sadak is here early. Again, though, when you have a run it back in play, you're more than happy to just go for a retake. Hunter's Fury thrown out. Nobody just desperately trying to find an opening kill. That's one of the things that EDG have pretty much failed to get in almost every single round. Shock and spam! From Kawazine! He just predicted where his opponent was going to go. Run it back now in. Utility set up to try and play QCK into position. They're watching for it, but he still takes down Kankan. That advantage was never had. The spam almost eliminating. Oh no, wallbang in. It's just one left. They're cleaning it. Loud making this look so easy. Another flawless round to make it 8-2.
นี่มันใช่ EDG เมื่อตอนที่เจอเฟเวอร์เล็กตอนนั้นมันอะ
เป็นครั้งแรกที่ดู EDG แล้วรู้สึกแบบไม่ค่อยมันเลย
I can swing it. Hope for EDG? Maybe not. Hope for Loud in the future of this tournament? Oh, hell yes.
เพราะที่ QCK ยิงทุกนัดนี่ลาวนี่ก็เต้นลุ้นนะ
Sort of been a bit shaky for them so far is they've not looked bad, but they've not looked like Loud. This is looking like Loud. This is looking like a champions winner. This is looking like a team that have been at many events before.
They have looked like Loud. They've just looked like Loud at a Masters event, not Loud at
ทำอะไรก็ดีไปหมด
another event. But now, finally, we're seeing this team at a Masters be able to put up numbers. One map already secured. More than halfway to getting this one. And EDG, they haven't even got off the starting point. 2 rounds on their attack. One player already lost to start this, and it's Chichu. This is why you're going to see those breaks pumped way down. They have to watch B, they have to watch A pushes, and with those extremities being watched, there's only one man you're going to rely on to try to punch through this defense. It was Kankan, sent through for spams, finds nothing. They are just looking for an opportunity right now.
Do you know, I wonder if, like, Genji is out there going, well, we can't play them again, right? Because we already played them. And then Senna going, well, they're from our region, so we can't play them again, right? It's just like, both seeing who can make the better excuse as to why they don't want to play Loud, because I wouldn't want to face them. Of all the teams we're seeing, look to make it to the playoffs. They're looking fearsome. Now a gap, well, it was left for a millisecond. Sadak, I think there might have even been a flicker of a knife in his head for just a moment.
ไงดีครับรู้เปล่า
They have no map control. They are just looking to take it.
Oh.
The elbow, the flash.
Oh.
Oh. ไม่มีภาพเดี๋ยววันนี้เรามันเดือดเกิน
หมูกลับมาล่าเผ็ดมาก
Gone. 18-5. He's had a field day on the defensive side. Phoenix.
We've talked a little bit about him struggling to break through to sites at the entry role, but I'm not even sure what role I'd call this. He's just shooting people. He's
playing attack on defense.
18-5, 9-2. EDG, one last chance to put a round on the board here on the attacking side, make it 9-3 at the half. It's not a lot of hope, but it's a damn sight better than what they'll be facing otherwise. Coming into it, they're up against a Viper's Pit. They're up against a Rolling Thunder, as well as just what Loud have been bringing to the table again and again.
Has Les actually used the Viper's Pit the whole half? I think he just used it now because he was like, oh.
I think that is the first. I mean, when have they needed it?
No, exactly.
Unless you're going to lock down B main, which again hasn't really been challenged for that aggressively and certainly not successfully from EDG. There's no pressure, zero pressure from this squad.
You know the little like challenges you get. He's just like, oh, I've got to do my challenge, so I'll just use my ult in the last round.
Yeah, I got to use one more ult to get my points.
He's trying to complete the battle pass, guys. Come on.
I mean,
okay.
Ambitious with the rolling thunder on the back of the reveal. This is going to be big. That's caught quite a lot of players even towards elbow. It's keeping Con in position. The ult was used. Smoggy can be revived. So Loud might want to compete for mid control. Maybe this can work out for EDG to force another
ทำไมเราได้ดูเปเปอร์เล็กเร็วจังวะ
He's got a spam on it, but he's traded out. That's what EDG wanted. The man advantage sits in their favor as they move towards B, and they're bypassing this Viper's pit entirely. Sadik needs to be careful here. He's playing a risky game up against Con.
ทามิ่งตุ้ยไม่รู้
is underway as well. Look, Chichu's thread the needle.
ตุ้ยยังไม่มีใครผ่าน
The thing is, it might actually end up banned from. I think the steps will be heard, so he should be able to catch Tui's this time.
Sadik can stop it.
He's been expected, and even still, it's looking like they might finally get another round. Not quite anything for Sadik, and now it's left on to less. Finally, after a long hiatus from the board, we do see another round, the last round of the half, go the way of EDG. But let's be real, Mitch, this has not been a pleasant outing for them.
No, it absolutely has. EDG coming up against Loud. I think we were all expecting this to be a close one. After what we saw from EDG in this tournament so far, the Paper Rex game, for God's sake. But here is Loud, a team we talked about being on weakened form. And they've got 9 rounds set to close this series out 2-0. EDG need a lot of hope. I'm not the one to find it. Maybe we can hear some words of encouragement from Haodong after his last game.
大家好，我是 EDG 的浩东，在队内担任 IGL， 还有烟味，感觉自己还需要很多调整的地方吧。其实他们打的东西一直是一成不变的吧，我个人感觉是这样的。但是其实今天的失败的更多原因是来源于我们
浩东
应对的方式很简单。首先，我觉得失利首先是从游戏内容吧，先从游戏内容里面抓问题，然后再从游戏外面再抓心态。
ไม่ใช่ครับสวิตลาววันนี้ชนะ1แพ้1มาเจอกัน
都会互相承担一些问题吧。然后我觉得我们队伍不会出现那种一场失败就把整个人击垮的这种人吧。
Be aware of this, and even as the turret comes back up for a moment, it's too late. They've already gotten past, and it's Con, the danger man. Now operator in hand, dash online, blade storm in the back pocket, and he's making his way forward. He's making noise while the rest of his team come in to fill the gaps.
每次打世界赛吧，大家本身抱有的心态就是，这其实是最后一次世界赛，大家每次都是带着这种心态来的。包括下一场比赛，还有包括昨天对阵 Paper Rex 的比赛，其实都是一个最后一次世界赛的心态去面对。我想说就是，可能在职业选手这整个职业生涯里面，可能会打很多次世界赛吧。然后，包括我们其实每次都会觉得这一次世界赛有可能是我们5个人的最后一次世界赛。我想着就肯定是，就是说白了，珍惜每一次机会嘛，然后把每一次都当成最后一次来打。如果说这样的话，其实个人觉得是更能发挥我个人。
Well, learning from defeat for EDG. They'll certainly have a lot to learn from this series so far, Tom, but it's not a defeat yet. 9-3.
The Loud signs, they're so good, but they're so toxic. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't.
Will it be a QCK 2-0?
Oh, a quick 2-0. I like it.
It's they master of puns.
Especially because he's got quick 1 in his name as well. Would it be a quick 1? That would have been good as well, but it's fine. Forgive it.
There we go. Leading the charge.
ไหวครับลงเฟิร์ส
QCK. He has been fantastic in this matchup so far. 18-6. A side going to be completely under their control. Now the same idea is in play from EDG. We've seen a lot of teams go for the retake on this side. Paranoia is still available. Shock darts, an extra flash for Smoggy. They have the utility to do it. The question is, the Loud even let them get that far?
Well, there's certainly been a lot of promise on the Loud retakes, like you said. EDG look to capture some of that magic. Smokes are down. The retake's underway. Flank spotted as well. Loud have a good idea of exactly what EDG are trying to do. The crunch comes in and they're ready. Con dropped right away, but a quick fight back. EDG still have some life in them with Smoggy picking up another. It's down to a 2v2, but QCK stands strong. Nice shot by Smoggy, but the volley at his feet. Too hot to handle. 10 rounds for Loud.
He's looking
จ
like
บไหม
a different beast
วันนี้มันโหด
today,
จัด
genuinely.
ใครวะ
This QCK is
QCK
เฮฟวี่
well, it was clearly seen, but that's the thing. At this point, I think that you could give Sadak any everybody, and if he goes, yeah, he's good to go, we've just got to believe it. It wouldn't matter who it is at this point. I think he could bring back some, like, 40-year-old FPS player. Maybe he could bring back Lothar. No, sorry.
FPS player? I don't know about that. If it was
Hey, he plays Valorant.
It was a card game version.
แต่เมาส์แม่งช้าชิบหายเลยว่ะ
Toxic.
ช้ามาก
I believe in you, Lothar. Here we go. 10-3. This flash.
Whoa, nice! Kawasi's just taking down the two
หมด
players.
จังหวะนี้แหละฮิว
Up ready. QCK's looking
ไฟ
to
วอล
try and
ด้วย
heal
เลือด
himself
เต็ม
back up. Bear in mind,
นี่เมนฟินิ
Conker has actually
โอ้โห มัน
invested.
เอางกไปไหนอะ
เนาะ
An interesting one. I didn't expect to see a Spectre light shield, but I guess just the scenario so bleak, he was hoping that maybe he could bridge the gap with some, not even that, a hero Spectre. I don't know if that's ever been said.
บอกมอ
I
บ
understand what he was going for there, trying to hit a timing on the player droning, but it's safe to say Sadak had friends waiting by.
เริ่มไวครับคู่นี้จบไว
the
คู่
pistol
สองเริ่มไว
rounds have been going to Loud again and again. This time, though, they're able to build on the back of it. This is the real tragic thing. Just look at the timeline there. Round 2 and 3 went to EDG. They upset them on that second round. I even remember, Tom, I said, now we've got a game on our hands, didn't I? I had to say that. Here we are. And for EDG, you know, there's a lot to talk about in their previous games. In this one, though, 5 rounds across the series so far. Loud have just had complete control. Their buy round here represents a chance to put the foot down, at least make the score line a little bit closer. But again, the man winning those opening duels doesn't change. He's taken damage and now finally dropped. And Kankan's made it out a lot. Instead to the nade. He just stood in it. Smoggy's taken down less. Okay. Well, it started out poorly, but it's been recovered. It was starting to be recovered nicely by the side of EDG. Not again. Not in rounds like this. Chichu.
What?
พี่ตุ้ย
เหลือเชื่อ
พี่ตุ้ยเขาจัดหมดเลย
Loud just can't lose.
No, not
ทำ
the-
นี่
โอ้
ทำอะไรก็ดีซื้อหวยได้เลยพี่ตุ้ยวันนี้
12-3. I could chop up every one of those kills and say EDG were unlucky in every single one. They should have won that
เข้า
round.
ซีนุสาจัดให้แล้วด้วยนะเมื่อกี้
The Tui's has just got away with that.
จัดให้ EDG เหรอพี่
จัดให้ EDG ยืนหม่งระเบิดไป
Peeking into an angle, puts the smoke down, runs out the smoke, kills the guy, goes back into the smoke, runs back out the smoke again, and kills another guy. And it just... Even Sadak's face is like, that was just dirty. Oh, I feel a little
คุณ
bit
เฮมบู
ill.
คุณ9 เดือนนะครับ
12-3.
จริงก็แค่ชื่อขนมเส้น
How do you think EDG feel on that stage?
Oh, we've casted fast best of threes in the past.
Had our fair share.
Yeah. Gambit versus Crazy Raccoon. That was the one. That was one to remember. That was maybe even a little bit quicker than this.
มันเป็นอะไรของมัน
Small
น่ะ
slot of my memory.
มันดูเงียบๆว่ะบรรยากาศ
Go.
นั่นดิ
คุณทะเลาะปะเนี่ย
เฮ้ย หมุนปะ
Could store that in a $2 USB.
นิดนึง
9 chances to close it out based on what we've seen so far. You know, Tom, it's anyone's game.
โค้ชกู
คางมันก็บิวแล้วนะ
This has got to be the one
โค้ชกู
time
รู้แล้ว
it's a
รู้หน้าที่แล้ว
concrete conclusion. This time out from EDG, I definitely admire them for taking it.
They'll get to stay on the stage a little bit longer.
Oh no. Doubled their time on stage on this map.
ฝั่งไอเชียไปแข่งไม่พวกนี้ไปมันก็ไปหลายวันครับ มีเวลาปรับตัวไม่ใช่ไปแล้วแข่งเลย
Because of the rounds they'll win following it. EDG won my heart. I even remember on the desk yesterday, I said, "This is a team I've massively
บาดแผลจาก
underestimated."
เจนจียังไม่หายเลยเปล่า
Stop underestimating them. They fall apart.
Yeah. But I think, as you said earlier, the one real benefit,
ไม่รู้เกิดอะไรขึ้นตรงนี้
well, the one only benefit, is the fact that we are seeing Loud
แต่
in
โค้ช
terrifying.
EDG ไม่ได้ใช้ทำไม่ได้ใช้อะไรเลย
Their
พี่
way
อ๋อ
through to the
รู้ไม่ได้
playoffs.
แล้วไม่รู้แก้ไงช่างแม่ง
Playoffs that, well, we
Give me off.
definitely want to see them if they're going to continue.
ไอ้ลูกเกมแม่งโคตรพังอ่ะ
Smoggy,
Ow.
Flash is good, but
Oh.
Less is there, playing counter once again.
ลาก่อน
About
ได
to be
เวอ
under
ร์
some serious pressure.
โจ๊กโอเวอร์
Trying to counter out QCK, but he ain't stopping. He
Oh.
knows there's a guy stuck in the corner.
Oh.
Take down Kankan as well.
Oh,
This
GG.
man has started off this map in real form, and he's looking to finish it the same way. Kawazid is going to put
เดินหัน
another
สี่
in the
ข้าง
dice,
มาเลย
left all onto
GG.
Nobody. Is nobody is
Lạc
standing
rồi.
in Loud's way, closing out this series.
Hột
A
tay.
obliteration of EDG as loud
ทำไมเบราว์เซอร์ผมมันกระตุกจังวะแชทเกิดจากอะไรวะ
มีซีรีส์
เนี่ยดูดิไอ้เชี่ย
ดีแล้ว
โคตร
คู่
ก
ส
ระ
อง
ตุก
คือ
เล
ไฮ
ย
ไลท์
doing it. When we talk about teams looking weaker, Loud were top of the list coming into
แปลก
this event. We thought they would do well. They struggled, they stumbled, but my God, they found their feet. On the other side, EDG, GG and well played indeed.
มันกระตุกมากเลยว่ะ
This
ตอนนี้
tournament
นะ
has been remarkable from this squad so
What the hell
far. A shame to close out their final series like this, but it's definitely not representative of what they've been able to bring to the international scene. I think Kan will be a name most teams are scared of in the future, just not in this series.
Especially when we know what the next Masters is going to be. I think he is going to be a name that everybody is going to be shouting. Unfortunately, after victories versus Paperex, a close game versus Genji, it wasn't quite to be today, but for Loud.
เฮ้ยมีสติกกี้ด้วยว่ะ SDK ว่ะเป็นโค้ชเขา
ใช่พี่
They came in a team that had beaten them before in a Masters, a team
เดี๋ยวผมรีเบราว์เซอร์นึง
Thanks, guys. I mean, a quick day at work, you know. Not bad at all. Goodness gracious.
Not bad
Day because it is going to be QCK. We're going to give his
ช่องหลัก
ที่เขาซินแทงแล้ว
เป็นอะไรวะวันนี้ก็กระตุกเหมือนกันเนี่ย
เนี่ยเป็นช็อตนี้กูไม่รู้จะกดพอสทำไมนะ
ไม่มีใครเหรอครับผม
งั้นเดี๋ยวผม
ที่สุดแล้วเนี่
ดี
ย
คอมทีหนึ่งดีกว่าแชทไหนๆก็คู่ที่สองมันกำลังจะมา ดีไหมดีคอมแม่งเลย มันเครี้ยว มาเดี๋ยวผมขอดีคอมนิดนึงนะแป๊บนึงนะแป๊บนึง
แต่พอดูอย่างนี้แล้วคิดถึงพวกอาร์สปาร์กับดิมอนวันเนาะ
ผมอยาก
อยากเห็นนะ
ดูไง
โซนอื่นไม่ค่อยได้ดูไอ้เหี้ย
ไหนๆก็แล้ว
ยิง
ใจรีแล้ว
หล่อไอ้เหี้ย
อัปเดตไดเวอร์
เออ
การ์ดจอ
เก่งมาก
แม่งเลยทีเดียว พร้อมๆกัน เจอกันครับอีกประมาณ5 ทีเรามีนัดกันที่นี่ที่เดียวที่
กูหน้ายาวแน่นอนไม่ต้องห่วง ของกินที่เตรียมไว้
2-0ครับเป็นเล่นชนะ
2-0เลยพี่
มันเป็นเชี่ยอะไรไม่รู้อ่ะมันกระพริบจอน่ะมันเป็นตั้งแต่เมื่อวานแล้วตั้งแต่ผมจัดโต๊ะใหม่อ่ะมันเป็นที่สายหรือเป็นที่อะไรไม่รู้อ่ะลงไดเวอร์การ์ดจอใหม่แม่ง เดี๋ยวแป๊บนึงกำลังลงอยู่ยังไม่ต้องรีบรีอัปเดตไดเวอร์อะไรด้วย